against Uzbekistan. Two teams who both won their opening matches. USA getting rid of close rivals, their neighbours, Mexico. Uzbekistan winning thanks to a golden goal against Saudi Arabia, despite being very much on the back foot. And according to Twitch, you think USA are going to get the better of Uzbekistan. This battle of the U's. Uzbekistan, who have a team in, of course, Uzbekistan. They're known as the unwanted team, the unwanted side. They've got a big YouTube channel as well, so check it out. Uzbekistan so big on social media, but not big with you right now via Twitch. You think the stars and stripes are going to be shining bright. Star-Spangled Banner, which we heard a few moments ago. Haven't got many USA fans here, but we do have their president inside the ground, of course, and he'll be looking to play his part, as he did very much against Mexico when he scored his penalty.
Land of the free, home of the brave, recites the Star-Spangled Banner. And first up, we have the usual formalities, but a big omen this, the Spotify secret card, and the Americans with that 100% record with the penalty thus far.
Yeah, and they're hoping to continue that here against Uzbekistan. Can they be the dark horses? Many were, I wouldn't say deriding them or ridiculing Uzbekistan, but Saudi Arabia, when they got that draw, were actually really happy to have got Uzbekistan. They thought they were going to win, but Uzbekistan having the last laugh.
Uzbekistan are a good footballing nation as well. I watched them at Paris 2024. They qualified for the Olympics with their talisman, the Roma striker Eldor Shomorodov. Of
course,
Genoa as well, plays his club football in Italy. Very impressive player indeed. Would have loved to have seen him be here, especially as he's not getting too much playing time with the Claudio Ranieri's Giallorossi side.
Well, Gerard Piqué or Zlatan Ibrahimovic, are you listening? Why not? Why not? Just
get him involved.
Get them involved.
They do call him the Uzbek Messi. I call him the man from Uzbekistan, a sort of play on the man from Uncle.
I like it. I like it.
Countdown is on.
Get ready.
Here we go with the lights, Patrick. Final nerve-jangling moments, and they'll be washed away.
Away we go then. And it's immediately Uzbekistan who get to the bounce of the ball
first. About it, to be fair.
Yeah, it just seemed to catch him on the chest, but in the end he has...
taking it flat in the face, you know.
Well, you know, taking one for the team. It's your boy as well. It's Shakhriyar Jabarov.
Big fan, big fan. Towering presence. Got that golden goal against Saudi Arabia.
And he's up against Devin Vega, who wears 98. You can probably guess why, Thomas.
Born in 1998.
Correct. World Cup year as well.
Oh, you mentioned France
Jabarov,
earlier.
Space here. He's got away from Devin, who are now is 1v1.
Here he is, Patrick.
What a chance this is going to be for Devin Vega. And the goalkeeper is equal to the stop. Nicely kept out there by Kitobchi.
And he's got a yellow, Patrick. He's got a yellow.
What's he done there? What's his
Para el tiempo, chicos.
Listening to the referee, what he has to say. But you can see here, this is the initial shot, Patrick.
Is he outside the 6-yard box? Or
as he charges out here, you can see, he'd gone out, and in that first minute, as you know, you can't come out of your penalty. The keepers, anyway.
He will know that. The problem is, it's one thing knowing the rules beforehand. It's another when you're out there. Kitobchi, as he wears on his on the back of his shirt, alias Radion Nanjirov, is now going to have to be replaced by Mansurov, who's much younger.
And obviously with it, as we said earlier, and we've said time and time, a reminder, a foul then inside that first minute.
And if there's any team that's going to be good at the shootout, it should be the Americans, having basically devised it, coined it for Major League Soccer in the early days.
Reminds me of ice hockey as well, similar format. So here he goes now. He scored a beauty against Mexico, and I think he could score another one here. My money's on him. The Eagle of USA, that American Eagle, will it soar here? I think it will, in my opinion, anyway, Patrick.
Here he goes, Devin Vega with the fake, but he misses the shot. The dummy was delicate and delicious. The shot was pretty shabby.
Well, just did all that initial part so well, and just that final product. I am surprised. I say he's technically so gifted. He's got a beauty against Mexico. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. You can see all the highlights on YouTube, Patrick.
Now Jabarov. Countdown is on. It's going to be 2v2 in terms of outfield players. Jabarov. But here go the USA, a chance to take an early lead, and they do just that. Put away fairly easily by Juanito Ramirez.
What an impact. Talk about coming off the bench and putting your name on the score sheet. An instant impact from him and a cool finish. And after USA spurning the chance to break the deadlock and get an early lead from the shootout, they do get the lead and they put themselves in the driving seat early here. And it was a really smart finish.
It was indeed. A reminder, this is a second round match between two sides that won their first games in the competition. Uzbekistan getting the better of the Saudis, the US winning that rivalry against Mexico, and US have a man over on the near side here. Didn't spot Devin Vega, but the keeper can shoot and the keeper can score. He curiously wears 0 on his back, but Eduardo Pollo Cortés makes it US Uzbekistan 0.
It's exactly why, Patrick, we tipped him and we picked him out as one of the star players. He was so impressive against Mexico. It's thanks to him that they actually, in my opinion, beat Mexico.
And that goalkeeping mistake now from Kitobchi is looking so costly, because with that sin bin, 2 minutes at this early stage, you lose a man. All of a sudden, that overload is very apparent indeed. And we've already seen it. The US twice exploiting the situation, all the while still having a goalkeeper on the pitch. And again, they'll now go and pursue a third.
And plus, you've already got this space which you're afforded in the early first 5 minutes before it gets to 7v7. This is Mijatovic, who's a big physical presence.
Big unit indeed. Here's El Pollo. Mijatovic has Ramirez on the near side. Still Juanito Ramirez. The angle was against him, but not a bad try at all.
Yeah, often, you know, the cliches are a whisker wide, just wide. And it really was a whisker wide. It was close, and he was close to getting his second. Mijatovic in the first game wearing long johns, Patrick.
Yeah, you've got your whiskers. You could do with a shave to be
fair.
So could I. But there we go.
But we're off it. We're not in front of the camera.
Not in
so,
vision.
yeah.
Not today. Maybe come the final. If you're listening to us, our bosses out there, put me and Simon Harding. Give us a bit of airtime. Well, I've got airtime, but just give a bit of on-screen time.
Yeah,
that'd be lovely.
they are two good-looking chaps.
Well, I always want a bit of material as well for the show reel. That's constantly
Why not?
being updated.
These players have got some great stuff for the highlights reel. It must be said, USA so far.
It is now 5v5. Mijatovic deflected, and that was very nearly 3-0 to the States.
Well, should Uzbekistan lose? I know it's still very late. We're talking about winning, losing. They wouldn't go out of the competition. They would go through to that last chance of having won their first match.
And do we know who they play yet?
We're still waiting just to check out, and we'll look shortly, and we'll ask her away. Just give me a sec to bring up my schedule here, Patrick, because I've got it saved here amongst my many files. Try and find out who.
You are a file fiend.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But so far, they're not really living up to this reputation as the dark horses, Uzbekistan. Real slow and sluggish start. USA just so far so good, but it came capitalising on that mistake from the keeper early on.
Is Morales.
Reminds me of Maxi Morales of Atalanta,
who did go and play in Major League Soccer with New York City FC. El Frasquito, no foul by Jabarov. He's picked the pocket here, but the toe poke finish was kept out by El Pollo, who's shown great distribution. But he's up on his own here, Morales. He'll have to go himself. He does go himself! And he finds the space under the goalkeeper. The odds were against him, but he's overturned those odds. What a finish that is from Morales to make it USA 3, Uzbekistan 0.
Yeah, no Trump dance celebration this time from the USA president. Of course, we're talking about the president of this USA national team and not the actual country. What a finish. Struck it so well through the legs, bottom corner. And it is USA 3, Uzbekistan 0. Not even 6 minutes on the clock.
I wonder whether Zlatan Ibrahimovic might be able to actually arrange that. And we saw President-elect Donald Trump at the draw for the 2026
Club World Cup.
World Cup. Well, the 2025 Club World Cup, indeed. Absolutely, the Men's World Cup will take place in US, Mexico and Canada, as Uzbekistan have a shot. And Donald Trump showed his affinity with Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, but I would love to see him as a keen golfer. I'd love to see a president-elect penalty, Donald Trump stepping up from 12 yards with his suit and all, whether he could convert.
Now listen, by his own admission, he hasn't played a lot of golf recently, but in terms of accepting your chance, taking a penalty, he's a confident man. I think it's an understatement.
His boy Barron is apparently a handy player as well. He even name-checked him.
Well, there you go. So I think Mr. Zlatimirovic, if you're listening, or Gerard Piqué, or even Claudio Marquise, who's head of competition for the Kings League attached some big names. We saw Luca Toni, Andrea Pirlo, all when it came to being unveiled on the draw for this competition. If you are listening, please make our wish come true.
The Americans in complete control here. Uzbekistan have been blown away, certainly weren't helped by that early mistake from their goalkeeper, a lack of discipline, which saw him get sin-binned, and the USA really made the most of that in terms of numbers. And it's crazy, isn't it, the Kings League, when you think ordinarily 11 v 11, okay, you get a player sent off early on, it's 11 v 10, but here it was 3 v 2, 4 v 3, and that makes a big difference in terms of
all the space, Patrick.
Proportion.
Yeah, with all the space. The keepers obviously can come off from that when we go beyond that first minute mark and give that extra man at the bench. Edo Cortez putting his name on the score sheet. What a player he is, and this could be an opportunity.
That was a lovely run. He didn't spot him there, did he? You know, you and I can obviously, we've got a bird's eye view of everything, but Stefan Mijatovic there could have played that killer pass. Didn't see the run through, but they really don't need to force things. That was a clever run forward there from deep from Ortiz. And what we're seeing here is a lot of Hispanic players from the United States, which used to be the way of things, but the game has really grown in recent times because of the development of MLS as well, where Pollo also played. Jabarov from distance, the goalkeeper, a little bit lucky then that the spin, as it ricocheted off his chest, then broke the way back to him. But we are seeing as well that they've got doing some fabulous work in American academies. I've been to plenty myself, and up and down the continental United States and in Canada as well. Lest we forget 3 Canadian franchises in MLS: Toronto FC, Vancouver Whitecaps, and Montreal Impact.
But you actually gifted me with a new Red Bull jersey, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
I'm going to throw you a curveball and ask you to step up to the plate, even though I know some prefer step up to the mark as an expression. Could USA go and actually win this and go to the final?
And of course, this event itself is powered by Red Bull, lest we forget. We've seen that with the dice being thrown every match, with different presidents from different teams then throwing that dice for the final 2 minutes, deciding how the game will end up in terms of numbers, in terms of personnel. And yes, we'll also have the secret cards, Thomas, and so far we've seen a nice variety in terms of what cards are being played.
We haven't seen the Joker card yet. We haven't seen that, but I think barring that...
That is the mother of all cards, isn't it?
Yeah. Barring
that,
that,
free reign to play whatever you want.
Exactly. I think we've seen almost everything, you know. Can Uzbekistan get away back into this match? The keeper's back on though after serving his two-match sin-bin.
And understandably, they're trying to get him in a more advanced position because they realise that they're 3 goals behind and they need to try and at least have a numbers-up situation somewhere on the pitch, which they haven't really enjoyed. And it's been far too easy for the US so far. And the only other team that's won both matches thus far, Argentina. The US looking to do likewise.
Yeah, and they're looking good for that and trying to take a step towards that final. Reminder, 12th of January, in the Allianz Stadium. Now, the Kings League has played also at the Camp Nou in the past, so it's no surprise to see it go to such a big venue, a prestigious venue, a great stadium, really modern stadium. USA want to be there.
Indeed they do. The US moving the ball really nicely, very technical. Mijatovic, that was a clever dummy there, but all of a sudden, Mijatovic had to chase back. Otherwise, there might have been an opportunity possibly for Kush Nudbek Rakhmonov, who goes by Kush on his shirt name, which is nice. Yeah. Jared Kushner coming back to Trump.
Exactly, they're all coming back here as the shot comes in from distance, and it's what would I've gone with had he scored there? I don't know. Mighty from Nunez, I'm not sure. I don't know, but maybe I've just gone with
it. Didn't go in because that was underwhelming, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a little bit. Might have gone for something. Mighty Nunez, I don't know. Either way, it didn't go in, so it didn't matter. But it doesn't look like I'm going to have a chance to shout gole, 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 gole.
Ah, yes, you could certainly channel our Italian brethren over here. Some broadcasting royalty in the shape of the aforementioned Roberto Scarpini.
Yeah, Marasuma for Milan.
Oh, yeah, big time. Although I'm more of a Carlo Pellegatti fan myself.
I thought you were going to say the Roma one. Was it Carlo
Zampa?
Zampa, yeah.
Lex Luthor for Michael Bradley, American, speaking of which.
Yeah,
it all ties back in. We're not just rambling
Musa
up.
As well, him just saying names
Musa.
Christian Pulisic. In Milan, yeah.
Christian Pulisic, who celebrated with the Trump dance as well, controversially on international duty.
Yeah.
Leave politics out of Kings League. Leave it out.
Absolutely. Let's get back to the culture and the football. That's what matters here, as Uzbekistan are trying to find a way back into this match. I don't know about the cuisines of these two nations. We spoke about that earlier when we spoke about Argentina and Japan in terms of their culinary delights. I'm not sure about USA and Uzbekistan, to be honest.
I like a nacho, but I don't know if that necessarily originates in the US.
Yeah, it's more Mexico.
Tex-Mex? Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex, is that more? Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go.
Texas, Mexican
Uzbekistan,
fusion.
have you been there yet, Patrick? I know you've
Not
travelled
yet.
across the globe.
Not yet, but, yeah, I do know that they had an expo there, Universal Exposition, a few years ago. So, you know, we're never far away from Uzbekistan.
Yeah, you and Sai very much are globe trotters. Milan globe trotters, not Harlem.
Astana, I believe, is the capital.
Yep.
Uzbekistan.
Yeah, plenty of experience in the Conference League down through the years, or was it Europa League? They have a bit of international experience, that's for sure.
The goalkeeper from range there, he's now off his line, and that's brilliant. That is going to be part of the highlight reel, I can guarantee you that, because the goalkeeper there from Uzbekistan was trying to score himself. His shot was repelled, and it looked like there was an empty goal for the US. There was an empty goal for the US, but he very casually headed it clear with the only part of his anatomy he's allowed to use there. Well played by Kitobji.
Certainly making amends in part as the shot comes in, and Cortes had to tip it over the bar. It's a bit more like it from Uzbekistan. Can that intervention from the keeper, that little moment of brilliance, give them a lift? It's something like that can turn the game, you know.
That would have turned the game if they could have turned it goalwards there, Uzbekistan, but they are still 3 goals behind, and someone needs to step up here. I do wonder whether it might be the time to play that Presi penalty card, Thomas, because 3-0 down, barely tested Pollo, you know.
Yeah.
It might be worth seeing whether Pollo has got greasy fingers.
Oh, I like it. So far, certainly not. Very sticky fingers. The ball seems to be sticking to his gloves each time. As thought about taking it quickly. They can play a presidential play in the first one, but they can't play their secret cards. That only in the second period.
And you do well to recap us the rules, because we've seen even with some of the players, the Uzbek goalkeeper early on, with that very costly encroachment outside of his penalty area. Good try, well worth the go there, and that was almost Uzbekistan on the board. It would have been the goal from Kush.
It would have been classy.
The bend on that.
Very classy indeed from Kush. So he looked to curl it in as we go towards the 14-minute mark. USA have certainly taken the foot slightly off the gas, but they can afford to do that. They've got a big lead, and they might look just to want to try and protect it as they go towards those final 2 minutes and that roll of the dice.
And clearly, you and I haven't played Kings League, but clearly it is taxing physically, because otherwise we wouldn't have rest days for every team after the match.
Yep.
Sure, it's 2 minutes of 20. However, 2 halves of 20, I should say. However, those that played on day 1 are now playing again on day 3, and vice versa.
Yep.
You play on the even days or the odd days. It will, of course, change as and when we know the makeup of the teams in the last chance saloon and those getting the bye through to the quarterfinals. A reminder, all of this Kings League World Cup of Nations comes to a close next week. We'll be with you every day, bar Saturday when we'll have a press conference ahead of the final. Monday right through to Sunday, and it all comes to a close, lest we forget, at Allianz Stadium in Turin, the road to Torino 2025.
Yep.
And we've got all sorts of surprises in store, Thomas, some of which we've already revealed. We're going to have Mahmoud performing as a very famous Italian artist, and we've got La Partida, El Partido de los Leyendas, the legends.
The legend, I'm nodding away, they're trying to follow that, but I think I've got it. Yeah, a Legends game, Patrick, ahead of the final on the 12th of January between former, well, I don't want to say former pros. Are you ever a former? You're always a pro, I suppose, even when you retire, because you never quite lose it. And do you know what, can I just give a little teaser? We've got a great surprise at half-time here as well. Can I give a little teaser, maybe? I don't know.
Please
He's
do.
a former Italy international, former Juventus player, as Mijatovic has a go. And every time I try and say, is he going to score, they never score. So
tease me, who is it?
Should I tell, am I allowed to say
No,
it?
don't say who it is, but give us some clues.
Former,
Have you
okay.
any questions?
Yes. Former
is he
Juventus...
an animal, mineral, or vegetable?
He is an animal of the football world.
Oh,
He
he's
is
a
an
beast on the
animal
pitch.
of the
Oh, that would have been a
football
card. But here goes Jabarov for Uzbekistan. Can they get on the board? They can't. Some heroic defending from the Americans, who immediately have the ball back. Jabarov putting himself about. potential beef on the cards here. He's saying he did nothing wrong, but a reminder of the competitive spirit that simmers down underneath all of the Kings League action.
Absolutely. And would you like another clue? I can give you a few more. He scored against our national team of England.
Ah,
if I'm not mistaken,
yes.
at the
Was
World
it
Cup
with a quirky penalty?
No, it's not him.
Ah, okay.
I'm going a bit further back. A bit. Or could we? Well, hang on.
Good try! Unlucky. That was very close indeed. He's put a hand up to apologise to his teammate. I don't think he should have done it at all, because that was one of the best hits we've seen so far. Really nice from David Ortiz.
Really good. It was actually at a World Cup.
At a World Cup.
Against England. He scored an absolute beauty. He is a serial winner with the Bianconeri. He wasn't with it at Euro 2020. By then he was coming very much to the end of his career. He's actually a local lad from Turin. A few more clues. Midfield maestro,
I think I've got it.
And he is involved in the Kings League, of course.
Is he a regal figure by nickname?
Oh, you've got it. You've got it.
How about that? Good try, deflected.
I don't know if you at home have got that. Who's going to be rolling the dice then? A former Italy and Juventus midfield, a serial winner from Turin, midfield maestro. Regista, the keeper, has a go. And that wasn't going to trouble Eduardo Poyo Cortes, who's leading the way when it comes to saves, Patrick, at this competition. 16!
Wow, that is impressive. And I tell you what, the man who is going to do that later on, the man you're talking about, the mystery man, as we tick down to the final few seconds, the 18-minute mark, it is interesting because he, compared with the current Juventus side, would really be a prince amongst paupers.
And there he is, Patrick. Mr. Claudio Marchisio, the role of the Red Bull, this energy break, energized by Red Bull, and here he goes.
Il Principino, the little prince.
And there you have it, 3 then. 3, 1, 2, 3. All good things come in threes. Non c'è due senza tre. 3 versus 3. Mr. Claudio Marchisio, head of competition for Kings League Italia.
He is, and what an ambassador for the sport as well, because he was very graceful in terms of the way he played. He was very graceful in terms of the way he looked. He looks the part. Perfect person you want to really promote this sport, and he's really bought into it, as so many have. That's why we're so excited, not only about, of course, this inaugural Kings World Cup nation, but also the nascent domestic league on the way, Kings League Italia. Talk to me about that. You know all about that.
Absolutely, but first we'll just see how this kickoff ends from Jabber. Lovely stuff, great technique, because it has to go backwards, Patrick, and we'll talk about Kings League Italia shortly.
He's practiced that, Jabarov. Now he'll try his luck from the edge of the box. Instead he squares it. They've got the goalkeeper out here, Kitobchi. We've already seen his shooting prowess. Kitobchi, Jabarov, toying with Mijatovic. Across the face of goal it goes. Taking their time, Uzbekistan. Jabarov will need to shoot now, as the officials will stop them in their tracks. Still going here, it's off target. They just can't find the net.
Disappointing end, and it's not going to be disappointing though from the Kings League Italia, that's for sure. There's so much excitement surrounding that, but will it be a corner? It will. Didn't feel it.
Two balls on the pitch.
Yeah, I didn't think it took a touch on its way through, but it clearly did. Referee's better placed to make the call than myself from the commentary gantry.
Kitobchi again in support, and there you can see the officials with the arm up.
Yes, again, a little bit disappointing there from Uzbekistan, who said that
passive, too passive. Need some aggression.
Moments like that in the first half from Uzbekistan, I have to say, Patrick. Maybe this occasion just maybe, I don't want to say one step too far, but the USA really kicking on from their impressive win against Mexico as they go for a 4th.
Yeah, they'll back themselves to score here as well. 3v3, they've got the goalkeeper off the park. And here's Morales. Just cut across it, otherwise that would have been 4.
Yeah, and it would have been his 2nd.
And Thomas, I'm noticing here, I don't know whether it's to try and stay onside or whether they're not actually allowed in the area, but I've noticed the players are just waiting on the edge of the box before then stepping in to shoot. Is there a restriction there? Kitobchi. offside. He knew he was the wrong side of the
This
last.
is the line for offside, exactly. You're spot on, Patch. You can tell you obviously played this game and know this game inside out. That's exactly it. Hence the reason they've just got to be so careful. This is where that offside position begins for those players, and it's just, it can make the, as we saw in the first game against Argentina, that it really is the fine margins that can make that difference. That first goal, if I'm not mistaken, for Argentina as they went on to get the better of Japan,
Yes,
which seems like a long time ago now.
Facundo Romero, lest we forget, with that wonderful header. Here's Morales staying on side. Mijatovic is the man pulling the strings. US trying to wind down the final few seconds of added time. Mijatovic. And again, now they need to hurry. As you can see, the officials with that arm up. Someone needs to shoot. It's Ortiz. Mijatovic. Morales! It's gone in. Kitobji is absolutely disappointed with himself. But the celebration, the see from the US president, because now they have a 4-goal lead heading in at the break.
Yeah, and for me now, Uzbekistan, the first thing they're going to do as soon as the game restarts is call a presidential penalty or a secret card, because they are really at risk now of letting the game run away from themselves. Great celebration from the USA president as well.
Half-time.
Half-time, let's hear from the two teams.
In the middle, I need Nicky to start being the fucking boss. Okay, up top, I need Vic Moore. Outside is Devin and Juanito. Center is Stefan Macias.
Hey,
let's
we all gotta
fucking
work.
win the game, boys.
Hey, Cito.
Come on.
You know fucking let down. We got fucking play.
Keep stepping on
Hey,
this.
6, 7, 8. Let's go. We keep it going. We gotta learn this game, so play it correctly. Basically 1-0. Stay locked in. Hey, we got something special here. We got something.
Hey, let's go. USA on 3. 1, 2, 3. USA. Come on. Hey.
Vic, you ready?
Go. Hey, make sure we got you.
Мен мэдээсэн боёдаг битасгээ таяад хайтаад битэд үршүн мөнгө. Ушаан чи удар манай мамд төчгөлөө манай мамда. Үеринэ зазор очугөөс туугарлаа шахаллаа.
Afsan git var verin olsun içine. Bolle. 3'ge 3 çıktıyla.
Spokойно. Hozir islom yo'li bor, to'g'rimi? Uramiz bolalar. Yo'qolib qolmayman. Davay, joylaringga bor. Ha, oltdan nari. Davay.
Do you remember a first half as one-sided as that so far? Thomas Lawrence in the first 2.5 days of the Kings World Cup Nations.
That's a really good question. That's a really, maybe a little bit in some stages. Spain, Italy looked a little bit like that. And going back to Spain, Italy, if anyone is new to the game, wants to introduce them to Kings League, I would put them towards that match. Spain, Italy had it all in terms of the drama, great play, entertainment, spectacle, competition, end-to-end stuff. Let's see if this can be a bit more end-to-end in this second period. I think Uzbekistan need to look to a president penalty or a secret card almost right away, because they're struggling right now.
They are indeed under the cosh. And as if to hammer home the advantage, the USA basically win the tip-off, to borrow a basketball term.
Yeah.
But after all that, the Uzbeks have the ball, so maybe we might see them score. They really need to score early on in this second half, don't they? They've got 20 minutes plus added time, but we're going to see the final 2 minutes, which are going to be when goals are worth double. We saw those 2 minutes at the end of the first half when they couldn't make the most of the reduced numbers, and sooner or later they've got to play that secret card, and they'll have the presidential penalty.
Yep.
So if they can score the presidential penalty, and then, I don't know, I like the idea of Jabarov with a green armband, you know, double goals worth double for
That'd be
him.
a
And
really
suddenly
cool
it's
secret
4-3
card
and
to
it's
see.
game on.
Yeah. That would be a really cool secret card to see. I'm really impressed by Uzbekistan in terms of never wearing goalie gloves. That really impressed me. In fact, we saw he didn't try and save it with his hands just before the
Yeah,
break.
I'm not so sure about that. Although we do remember years ago when Italy crashed out, England rather crashed out of a competition against Portugal with Ricardo, the goalkeeper, who saved a penalty, having taken off his gloves, then went and scored the winning penalty against the Three Lions. So maybe there's a bit of that. Mind games.
Certainly is. Now USA can afford just to sit back and invite Uzbekistan forward and soak up a bit of the pressure here, and then just try and spring forward. Don't forget we're talking about Uzbekistan with their secret card, their president. It's the same for USA, and that could really put the game even further beyond Uzbekistan.
That's why if I'm the USA, I'm almost tempted, and their president Edwin Castro, I'm almost tempted to play it now. Take that presidential penalty, and then maybe then try and play the card and really turn the screw.
Yeah, that's a really good point as well. That's the great. That's the strategy side of this game and the Kings League, Patrick. Just showing it's not just about entertainment, spectacle. It's also a strategy. It's about when you play it, thinking about it, when to play that card, Patrick. You've got to be really smart when it comes to these kind of things. So it's not just about that competitive side and the entertainment. This is not purely about that. It's not wrestling, if that makes sense.
No, it's not. There is a sporting dimension, as you said, a very prominent one here. And we're seeing it, the athleticism. We've seen that they are out there to entertain as well. That's what the rules tend to do. It's fostering entertainment. But first and foremost, there's that desire to win. And that's why former pros and even current ones have been so intrigued by this. They want to be a part of it, not just because it's created by PK, not just because Ibrahimovic says, do me a favour. No, they actually want to get out there. They want to win silverware. They still want to entertain and impress, even in the latter years of their careers.
Absolutely. That's what it is all about. USA in a foul on this near side, really showing they're having soaked up that little bit of pressure. They're looking to hit forward, as we see. Yeah, it was clearly a foul. No complaints. The referee well placed to make that call for in favour of the Americans. They try and come forward again.
Mijatovic. They're just in complete control here, America. This is, dare I say it, tantamount to a training match so far. But just as I said that, Uzbekistan pounce. Poya with the save. Jabarov will surely score, and he does. He's their main man, and he has delivered just when they needed it, in the nick of time. And all of a sudden, from 4-0 down, it's 4-1, and just a glimmer of hope for the Uzbeks.
Patrick, again, I never seem to learn my lesson. Every time I'm saying, yeah, it's going to be game over. It just shows I'm perhaps too accustomed to traditional football. The Kings League, it really is never, ever over, right until the final whistle. You've got to expect the unexpected.
Jabarov, the Kings League's answer to Shomorodov, dare I say it there. Tested Poyo, didn't panic when the ball broke back to him, then dropped the shoulder, opened up the angle and deposited it in the empty net. And all of a sudden, the Americans, who can be brash and cocky,
now, Patrick,
believe in themselves.
To thank you and thank our sponsor, Spotify. If you need a motivational playlist for the new year, go and check the new Kings World Cup Nations playlist made by your favourite players and streamers. So thanks to Spotify. Also, our sponsors are our secret card, so super stuff from Spotify.
That's a good try. Poya with the save. Otherwise, they might have scored two very quick goals. It was Jasko trying his luck. Jasurbek Tuptasinov.
So this is, I think, quite good play from USA in terms of their strategy now. All smiles there ahead of the penalties. We'll be smiling shortly because this way they can then go and extend their lead here, having gap reduced their lead reduced slightly, even though they still got a huge cushion here.
And here comes the penalty. It is time for that moment. Presidential penalty then, Thomas. Big moment this. The US, having just conceded, have decided that they're going to try and make the most of this opportunity.
He scored against Mexico, Patrick. Can he do it again?
Change in Uzbek goalkeeper as well.
Steps up here. Chance to score, but unbelievable. Unbelievable. I cannot believe it.
Timur Golikov with the save.
Stepped up with so much confidence, and he scored against Mexico. I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless, Patrick. I did not expect him to miss it. I know he's trying to look at the funny side of it, try and smile it off, but it could be a big miss because Uzbekistan now called their president penalty.
Indeed, trying to really make the most of the momentum there. Having saved one, can they score theirs? Can they first find the net from open play here? They've taken the corner short, and he can't control, but now the ball's gone out of play.
The moment then for Islam. To Jabarov. And he's just getting ready here to our right, Patrick, if I'm not mistaken. There he is. He's currently got trainers on, not boots. We've seen different presents opt for different kind of footwear, you know. We also saw, I think it was the Spanish president perhaps, maybe come with his Crocs. The other day, for example, and there he is. So interesting footwear, no studs, no moldies for him.
Quirky apparel,
Yeah.
apparel then from Islam Abujadorev. And can he score? Big moment this. They trail by 4 goals to 2. This can 4 goals to 1. This can make it 4-2.
Here he goes. And it is 4-2.
What a beauty of a penalty. Only he will know whether he sent the keeper the wrong way, but the fact of the matter is, Poyo went to his left, the penalty went the other side, and Islam, take a bow, son.
I think he heard you as well, Patrick. Little nod of appreciation in your direction there. From the Uzbekistan president, such a great penalty. And just when, say, we're talking about USA going on and marching on and going perhaps towards the final three, now Uzbekistan pretty much back in it.
Tolo, when will you learn?
I won't learn, that's my problem, but I've got to learn. And I should know by now, this is day 3 of the Kings World Cup Nations.
You know,
streamed
if it were
on
me getting
Twitch,
ahead of myself,
YouTube,
we
yep.
could make allowances for it, we could legislate for that. Less so you've been there and done it.
They've done it, followed the game, I've watched all the Kings World Cup from 2024 in Monterrey. It's great we actually have some of the commentators from that event there to our right, our Spanish colleagues, we've got Italian colleagues to our left, so I should have known better. I never learn.
The US need to score here. Mijatovic rising high. I'd say they need to score, they'd like to, just to open up a bit more of a cushion, because from 4-0 up, it's now 4-2, and that was 4-0, wasn't it? Very early on, by the break, I think. Was it 3-0 at half-time?
Very comfortable for them.
But here comes Uzbekistan again. That could have easily broken the way of a white shirt. Jabarov's taking a breather meantime. Can't see him out there.
And you know,
oh, there he is. He was lurking behind the blue shirt. I've spotted him again.
Looking to ask a question, but this is exactly why I think what was behind the reasoning of this competition, when Jabika was chatting away and thinking how they can perhaps make football a bit more exciting. Moments when you think it's over, it never is over.
That's a clever ball, lovely touch as well. Surely it goes in, what a save, and twice! That is going to be on the highlight reel. I think he's hurt himself in the process, but Kichobchi has shown both some very casual goalkeeping when he tried to save it with his foot. This was fabulous work from the shot stopper.
Not once, but twice! Keeping it out. And I think he may have hurt himself in the process indeed. He may have taken one in the lower region. No need to express exactly where.
Well, exactly. You only need to look at where exactly he's massaging on his anatomy, but thankfully we've cut away from those pictures. If you are in the arena, then you'll be able to see it, but if you're not at the arena, why aren't you here? Make sure you get tickets for our final at Allianz Stadium.
You can still get tickets for that, Patrick. You can still get tickets for that, even though here in Vismada as well, it's very tricky now to find a ticket. But for the final, still available. As you can see, and remind you got Mahmoud, who will be singing ahead of the final, also a Legends game as well, so much to look forward to. It won't just be the Kings World Cup Nations on the line, some legends putting their pride on the line.
Get your tickets at kingsley.pro, that's where to head in order to try and purchase what should be a very special night, tickets for that particular event. Live from Allianz Stadium in Turin. Seen to many league title wins for Juventus. 9 in a row, lest we forget. Not for a few years now.
Yeah,
Tagobotta trying to bring back the good old days. It's Kush.
That's correct.
Jabarov
won the title.
Tried the flip-flap there, the elastico. He should really have gone for goal there, Ortiz. Not sure he realised that Kichobchi was off his line. Hotly contested throw in there, but again, Mijatovic, just that stabling presence at the back.
The secret card has been played yet by USA or Uzbekistan. We wait on and see what they can be. See, the coaches know. Hence the reason why they have that time to decide when to play it and when's the best time. Who knows what it will be. Nice to see a joker would be a nice one, or a goals worth double from a star player. Would like to say, as we saw yesterday in Brazil for Kelvin Oliveira, and for the South Korean number 18, Young Si. The keeper has to quickly track back here.
Personally, I would love to see either one of those two cards you mentioned, just because I'm being exposed to this for the first time, so I've only been privy to the cards that have been revealed so far today. So the Joker one is one that really interests me, because then I'd like to see, surely, if a Joker is played, there has to be one, or maybe it depends on the match situation that every president would turn to. And then latterly, that green armband, who do you give it to? Do you give it to the most obvious player, your goal scorer, or do you try and sneak it on someone else who might be, you know, making late runs from the back, perhaps, or a threat from set pieces? If you can toss in a corner, we shall see.
Yeah, if it's Uzbekistan, you feel it'll be Jabarov, obviously. If it's USA, that's an interesting one. If it's USA, because they've got lots of different options. That probably is helpful as well for the USA coach. But again, we're speculating right now. We don't know. Only the coaches know, and that's what again adds to the beauty of it and makes it so exciting. Sometimes you can maybe guess what it might be as you go towards, you know, if you're coming towards a 36, 37, it can't be a double goal, because you only have 4 minutes to do that. You would have played that a lot earlier to give yourself the time, for example, and you think it might be something like a penalty or a shootout. But we'll wait and see as we go towards that 30-minute mark. Much more even this second period after USA so dominant in the first. We've seen it's very much a game of two halves at times as they try and get another goal and make it 5-2.
Took a chance there because he was out of his goal. Jabarov holding up, losing the ball, and it's come back in off the goal. It has gone in. The goal stands.
Let's go.
And Uzbekistan want a foul in the build-up, but in the meantime, it's the US who celebrate, scoring their 5th.
USA dancing their way to the quarterfinals of the competition.
I think this is going to be disallowed, Thomas. I think there's a clear foul in the build-up there. I fully expect the video assistant referee to award a free kick for Uzbekistan. I thought that was a clear clothesline in the build-up. I don't think this goal should stand.
Continues to celebrate, though.
Discussions. Let's hear what they're saying.
Yeah, let's listen in.
You think? Wait, take the action, huh?
Because face. No?
Okay. Possible fall here. Okay. See.
Checking in progress.
Okay.
My hunch was correct, Thomas. They are going across for an on-field review. They're going to have a look at the footage. How good is that? With them able to see the screen, all of us as well.
Before, Joan, please, before. This is the contact. Okay. Go. Joan, stop in the contact, please. I don't see. I don't watch fall. Huh? Why? Wait, another, please. See. The old camera. The other, please. The other. Please, thanks, John. Está cayendo. Nothing. For me, it's no fault. It's goal.
The goal stands. It is a VAR review, but the goal stands. Essentially, what it was Jabarov got a very minor push from one opponent, which sent him into then the hands of another opponent. The second contact appeared to be a foul, but he went into that second challenge far too easily in the view of the referee. So despite his colleagues in the VAR room referring it for review, in the end he has stuck to his own decision. I have to say I agree with him. It was the first camera angle which really showed that in fact there wasn't too much of an infringement, and Jabarov made a meal of the second contact.
Yeah, and most times when they go across the monitor, you feel that then they're going to change their initial decision. Not on that case. The referee doing really well there. Looking at, as you said, just more, it was that initial contact was a little push, but it wasn't much really, was it, to warrant the goal being disallowed?
No, and I think it's now is the time to give praise to the goal scorer, Ortiz, I believe, who struck it really well.
And the celebration, Patrick, and the celebration.
Absolutely, I missed that myself, but it was a little bit confusing because the ball didn't remain in the netting and it almost looked like it caught the post, when in actual fact it struck the that metal pole inside the netting itself. So his celebration told you the ball had gone in. Uzbekistan were hoping for a reprieve from the officials, but instead they now trail by 3 goals, and that is why a secret card is on the way. Which way is it going to be played, Thomas?
Well, Uzbekistan now, we'll see what this is going to be for them. They need something after that goal from the USA, the United States. Have a 3-goal cushion. We'll be hoping it's not a penalty against them in terms of the secret card. What secret weapon will it be? We're just waiting. Of course, we'll only find out when the ball goes out of play or the player stops, and it may come now. And let's just get another.
They nearly did as well. Just dragged the shot wide, trying to catch the goalkeeper out as near post. And here comes the card, sponsored by Spotify.
Thanks. Okay. Double goal.
Goals worth
For
double, Patrick.
Uzbekistan.
Still not goals worth 3. We haven't had that come into play yet, despite your hopes and your wishes. So goals worth over the next 4 minutes.
Which is an interesting time to play it, isn't it? Because then we'll get to the 38-minute mark.
Yeah,
so
it's a little bit late, actually, to be fair.
Maximise it. So they've probably not quite timed that correctly, have they? But they'll get the best part of 3.5 minutes of goals being worth double. So if they could score one now, it suddenly becomes 5-4, and then even if they were 5-4 down, their goals will be worth double as well in the final 2 minutes.
Exactly.
So they're backing themselves to score twice for a total of 4 goals to eventually win this match 6-5. They'd also need to keep the Americans quiet defensively, which is no mean feat.
And it makes me think the USA secret card will be something like a shootout or a penalty, really. Otherwise, they would have played it earlier.
Just to keep them ticking over.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Here's Kitobji.
Who's become a bit of a cult figure, I must admit, without
massive.
the gloves.
No gloves, makes the hard saves look easy, makes the easy saves look impossible.
Yeah, exactly. We were disappointed in the first half, that goal. Oh, was that a penalty?
Look who's gone down, Jabarov. He does have form in terms of going down off the ball. We saw it in the lead up to the Americans' 5th goal. He
2
thinks,
players down, Patrick.
well, indeed, and the Americans aren't putting the ball out. The officials now stop play. I have a feeling he's asking for a video review there, Jabarov. Did the challenge come inside the box? It did. He was tripped there. I think he might well have been caught by the American number 7, Juanito Ramirez.
Possible penalty, okay, guys. Check the action, yeah.
Try and listen in here, as always.
Checking in progress.
No, hay contacto abajo cuando va a entrar al área. Otra cosa es realmente si hay opción de jugar el balón. Pero hay contacto abajo, realmente hay una traveta aquí.
I think the referee's saying that the contact might well have come outside the box, but that's what they wanted to check there. Speaking to one of the American players in his native Spanish.
Perfect. Ball, please.
No penalty, so the challenge did come outside the box, and even if it was a foul, they can't now give a free kick, unfortunately.
Balón a tierra para ustedes.
USA then surviving that little scare.
On the ground and play. Only for you.
It puts them again very much back in pole position. Mentioned Formula 1 earlier, Patrick. Back in pole position. Can't remember many USA drivers down through the years.
US looking to score again here. I think they had a Grand Prix though, Indianapolis perhaps?
Yeah,
Indiana?
I think we've won in Texas perhaps, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. Miami maybe, but certainly we've had US Grand Prix, but it has never really taken off there as it has done in other parts of NASCAR, more of a NASCAR nation. Daytona, USA.
That was a mishit cross that nearly became a goal. Again, the goalkeeper making it look easy, but he's played it straight into touch. You either love him or hate him, don't you, really, that goalkeeper, Kitobji? He can be so frustrating, he's a real enigma.
Oh, absolutely. But we've seen plenty of these cult figures in the Kings League. We spoke about him earlier, Trombetta very much at the last World Cup for clubs, of course, with the Stallions. Here we're seeing many with Uzbekistan's been one. This man here for me, for the USA, Eduardo Pollo Cortes, and what a name, Pollo. Love it. And that number as well, 0. But he's
and he's just pinged it straight into touch there.
Patrick, it's got to be a penalty for the USA, otherwise they would have played their secret card a long, long time ago.
I bow to your experience. Here's Jabarov trying to make something happen. They need something to happen.
Of course, don't get me wrong, but it's got to be something along those lines.
Yeah,
they
wouldn't similar, aren't they? One is static from 12 yards, the other is a run-up.
You know, there's no point in playing a suspension now for the last 30 seconds. Makes no sense, because you've got to play it within these first, before the 38-minute mark.
Kitobji was off his line there. The US hit it wide. As we approach that 38-minute mark, they've still got another minute of goals being worth double Uzbekistan, so they need to score, but they just don't look like doing so. Nice give and go featuring Jabarov. He hit it well. The Goalkeeper is out again. Kitobji's having to take chances here.
And the countdown now on.
So have the Americans forgotten to use their secret card, or they're using it right now on the buzzer for the looks of things?
Very, very fortunate as they receive a talking to from the referee, who says they did it just in the nick of time, Patrick. What's a joker?
Joker for United States.
So they can then choose anyone that they wish.
Penalty.
Penalty.
Did you say penalty?
I'm delighted, Thomas. You know I want to see a joker, and a joker has been delivered by the Americans, and they are laughing their way through towards the quarterfinals from the looks of things. 5-2 up. It's going to take a monumental turnaround for Uzbekistan. They're going to need to score twice in the final 2 minutes, maybe even just to tie the game, because if the Americans score this penalty, they go 6-2 up. Because this doesn't count as the 2 minute period, does it?
No.
So this is not worth double, this would only be worth one. Would take them to 6-2, and it would mean that Uzbekistan would need to score twice in 2 minutes plus added time just to force a penalty shootout.
Yeah, but listen, Patrick, if it works out here and USA score, well done to everybody involved. This man here who's taking the penalty, the USA coaching staff who made that decision right towards the very end. Just give you that little boost to get you over the line going into those final 2 minutes.
Luis Morales, who I believe has already scored in this match.
Yeah,
chance to do likewise at the other end. Morales scores. It's 6-2 now to the United States. And surely they have 1 foot in the quarterfinals of Kings World Cup Nations, because Uzbekistan improbably will need to score twice without conceding just to force a penalty shootout. How cool was that from Morales?
Yeah, I think you can take away the probably there, and more than 1 foot, 1.5, 1 3/4. They are almost there now, the USA, so close. It's just mentally as well for Uzbekistan. How can they come back from this now? As you mentioned, if they score, it goes to 6-4. If they then score again, it's 6-6. But then, you know, the USA as well, they've looked so dangerous every time they come forward. So it's a case of USA, theirs to throw away, really, Patrick. It's theirs to throw away, and I don't think they will.
And if they were to throw it away, you know exactly what verb we'd use with the Americans.
What would it be?
Choke.
Choke,
and I know you nearly choked earlier on, chewing away on your Haribo Star Mix.
Haribos and
taking a cheeky snack break to get a bit of sugar.
Absolutely, I've got my snacks here.
Rather than choke, I expect the Americans to come in clutch for the next 2 minutes.
I like
Shout out to our avian friend in Milan.
Good man, good man. They certainly are speeding their way forward, and they are almost there.
They've definitely stepped up to the plate over the course of the first 38 minutes.
Oh yeah, I'm going to again throw you another curveball, Patrick. Can they go on and even win this competition?
Well, that would see them smashing it out of the park. It would be a home run of sorts. Anyway, double goal time.
As for man of the match, Patrick, here's the 4 that have been nominated. One of these.
Yeah, I'm liking Luis Morales. Credit, shout out to the man wearing 9 there as well. He's been really impressive, but it's just been too little, too late for Jabarov. He's not really been ably supported, and I know you and I have enjoyed the goalkeeper, but he hasn't really necessarily been consistently good throughout the entirety of this match.
In this game, you're right. Yeah, I completely agree.
And
so
but for his mistake early on, you know, Uzbekistan might have made more of a contest of this. He really cost them with that early sin bin.
But still, Uzbekistan, they're not going out of the competition.
They could have shot there, they didn't shoot, and Jabarov again. This time he just slipped, but that's maybe an area of his game I would suggest he needs to improve upon. Does seem to go down a little bit too easily. And we've seen that the officials are not just going to blow willy-nilly every time someone takes a tumble, and in fact, they've also shown the courage of their convictions even when things are flagged up. It's not an automatic VAR review. Okay, I'll change my call. No, show me the footage. No, you're wrong, I'm right. I stand by what I said. Jabarov wanted his teammate to turn, got the ball caught up beneath his feet. Someone needs to take a shot on here, Thomas, otherwise they're just going to go out of this particular match with a whimper. They'll still be in the competition, having won their first game.
Right.
They'll get a chance at last chance saloon, which is probably located somewhere in the Far West.
Far West, exactly. To continue our USA theme, Uzbekistan getting the better of Saudi Arabia in their first match thanks to a golden goal. Saudi Arabia taking on Mexico, lost to USA in their first match. USA marching on as the shot goes in from distance.
Jabarov, he did well to control it. The US felt he was offside. The assistant on the far side agreed, very quick to raise his hand. And there you can see it's a close-run thing between Jabarov, Luis Morales, a multiple goal scorer in this game, and of course the ever-popular Pollo wearing number 0.
Number 0 indeed. For me, I agree with yourself, Patrick, as is often the case. It's got to be Morales stepping up for that penalty, which really just knocked the wind out of the sails for Uzbekistan. Was just that thing just to take USA over the line.
Reminder, this is our third of 4 matches in the Kings League today. It is day 3, round 2. Still have one more match on the horizon. Mexico against Saudi Arabia, the fixture that Thomas was referring to. Ortiz, meantime, was he caught by Jabarov? He was. The whistle goes, and the Americans can already begin to celebrate. We've played a minute of the 2 added on here at the end of our regulation 40 minutes. And then we'll still have a further 4 matches to come tomorrow, which is day 4. It's the second day of the second round, in which we will again see which 2 teams will go straight through to the quarterfinals and which 2 teams will then enter last chance saloon, and we'll pick up that conversation on Monday. Well held there by Pollo. He'll go for goal for a spectacular finish, just cut across it a bit too much.
Well, we saw him score earlier, unable to get his brilliant brace. Eduardo Pollo Cortes, a popular figure, as the clock continues to tick down. And looking into tomorrow, I really cannot wait to see the likes of Brazil in action, but one step at a time. We've still got USA against Uzbekistan to finish off, and then Mexico against Saudi Arabia. So again, I can't keep getting carried away as always.
No consolation there for Uzbekistan. The Americans are waiting to count down the final seconds here. There goes the full-time whistle. 2 wins from 2 from the American side here. The United States make it through directly to the quarterfinals of the Kings World Cup Nations. They are a great sporting nation, and they're proving they can mix it as well in the Kings League. It was one-sided essentially from start to finish. They made it count early on with the overload in the early minutes, and eventually 6-2, a very healthy winning margin.
Once again, then it is USA A-OK. Jabarov taking a bit of consolation, a consolation prize for him, and taking home the MVP prize. He will try again in the last chance saloon, as Uzbekistan did win their first game against Saudi Arabia. As for USA, very much like Argentina, winning both of their matches and going straight through to the quarterfinals and earning an extra day of rest. Final score confirmation: USA 6, Uzbekistan 2. And the stats confirming then the dominance from the Americans, who are really, really impressive. They've laid down a marker once again, showing that their victory against Mexico on the first day was not a flash in the pan. They march on and they go straight through to the quarterfinals like Argentina. As for Uzbekistan, they join Japan and Spain in that last chance saloon. A reminder, Italy going out earlier. Italy the first team to crash out of the competition. The home nation are going home, although